Hello YouTube, this is MaulGamer and welcome to the second part to the Sword and Shield team plan. This time, instead of doing a team plan about myself, I'll be doing a team plan based on my own character, Maul-Chan, who I do need to get that poster and put it behind me at some point. But I don't. I don't know why I don't. The only time you can actually see her is back here, but that's not a really good quality picture. Like, that's pretty far away. You would have to go into, like, Discord and stuff just to actually get a good look at her. Anyway, since I'll be playing as Maul-Chan throughout the Galar region instead of myself, as well with customization options being pretty early in the game, I would definitely go for that. I thought I would do a team plan based on her. I already have, like, a team of 12, like, so, you know, swap-ins as well, like I did last episode with 3. I actually made one well in advance to the game, but it was only based on just Pokemon from other, you know, all the other regions, including legendaries and stuff like that. So some of the Pokemon will have a star at the bottom. This time, it won't mean Pokemon staying on my team. This will mean Pokemon that I'd originally put on her team from back, you know, back then. One exception to this will be the second Pokemon, because it's Pokemon that's technically a Pokemon that was on her team, but was not on her team. If that makes sense. It was a Pokemon that was on her team, but the certain form that I can have wasn't. Anyway, without further ado, let's get on to the Maul-Chan team plan for Sword and Shield. The first Pokemon is her starter. This will be Sobble to Inteleon. I felt Cinderace was not a good choice because she doesn't do sports. She's, like me, not best sports person. Quite a lot of Maul-Chan is based on me, but except she doesn't care about sports full stop and won't choose Scorbunny. Instead, she goes for Sobble because she wants to care for Pokemon, and hence, she goes for the depressed lizard. She wants to care for it, she wants to make it purely smile for the rest of its life, and in doing so made it an Inteleon. That was it, that's the whole joke. That was it. There's nothing else I can say. It's literally, she's a caring person. Every Pokemon she owns will usually have an accessory on them. For Inteleon, I was thinking that she would probably give it like a sort of suit, but it's like a sort of like red or reddish blue maybe suit, a purple suit for it to have, which looks like a spy style suit, since Inteleon doesn't actually have a suit, but instead gloves and sort of like boot like, you know, skin. So yeah, I will be going over quite a couple of Pokemon throughout this list and an accessory they would own if Maul-Chan was to actually have them. Next up is a Pokemon I mentioned twice last episode, G-Max Eevee. It's Eevee, and Eevee is on here. She has an Eevee. She loves Eevee. It was her first Pokemon she ever got in my canon of her Pokemon universe, and definitely it's Eevee. And Eevee's accessory, she has two, because it's a female, and Eevee's accessory has a bow on its head. Not on its, like, not anywhere else, it's literally on the head, and it has a flower on its right ear. This is just a normal flower that she just put on. She's known it longer, hence she gave it 2 accessories instead of 1. If you get what I mean. Next up is Yamper and its evolution. Yamper, as I said, she's had an Eevee, and Eevee's a dog. And in the real world, in my canon of the real world, she likes dogs. So, Yamper was the best fit, since it's a dog. I mean, it's also kind of cute, and she loves cuddling it, and has even made a good relationship to the fact that it won't electrocute anyone unless she says so. Unlike Ash's Pikachu would if, you know, her or, you know, it just feels interrogated or something like that, would zap anyone. So, yeah, Yamper. I forgot to mention, Yamper's accessory would be, well, it was hard to think of one, but I was thinking of sort of bow tie on its fur. I was thinking a sort of like tan coloured bow tie, or brown bow tie, or black bow tie. This would just be a nice little bow tie, just to give it a little cute, you know. But really, Maul-Chan would like to usually change its fur and how it's styled. Sometimes even jokingly changing it to look like Jolteon's fur. Next up is Mimikyu. Mimikyu has its reasons for being on Maul-Chan's team. Something a load of you will never know is Maul-Chan isn't exactly human. A little backstory to Maul-Chan for you peeps out there who would actually want to know a bit more about her. She's an alien in a skin suit. And actually, weirdly enough, the alien underneath is more male-like. The species usually like to make skin suits and, you know, dress up, even though I don't know, I still haven't come up with a good idea why, they just like to. So, basically, hence why Mimikyu is part of this list. It is a Pokemon in a costume. The skin suit is like a costume to them. So, Mimikyu was a perfect fit. Another little thing I want to say is something Maul-Chan can do with Mimikyu, but not other people can. Any real Pokemon fans who know what Mimikyu is should know what I might be talking about. And with Mimikyu is, well, you can't look underneath its costume. It will give people nightmares and even sometimes kill them from just looking at it. That's kind of scary. But for some reason, Maul-Chan, not being exactly human nor Pokemon, can for some reason look at it. And there's an incident that happened, and hence she found out she could look at it. Basically, there was a big fight, and, you know, her Mimikyu almost died. You know, it was, like, it's not exactly a ghost, even though it is a ghost. It almost died, and its costume was torn to shreds. So, Maul-Chan basically made herself a Mimikyu costume for her Mimikyu. Instead of getting the normal tan colour though, because she couldn't find it, she opted for a normal grey colour, which is represented in the shiny, but it isn't exactly shiny either. Instead, as well, it has a purple patch on its head. This is sewn patch that she's put on due to, well, she couldn't get enough cloth for the costume. Also, the cheeks are a lot redder, and she also has a flower. The Mimikyu's and the costume has a flower on the top of its ear. Just a nice yellow and blue flower. But, as I was saying, it's different. It's not a shiny, but it's cool, and I love it. I love the idea of a different coloured Mimikyu that isn't exactly shiny, and I gave Maul-Chan a different coloured Mimikyu. Also, I kind of had to work from that as a story due to, well, when I was originally drawing her team, I didn't have a tan colour. I had a pencil that worked, but I didn't have a tan, so I opted for the grey, and it actually kind of looked cool. Also, a little other thing about Mimikyu, when I told you about its costume getting torn to shreds, that includes its wooden tail. So she remade another wooden tail, but to fit like the different colour, she gave it a nice pink touch. It's kind of nice. You'll see that when I do my later on series in the future near Christmas time. You'll see Maul-Chan's Mimikyu, what I picture it to look like. Anyway, I've talked enough about Mimikyu. Let's move on to its next Pokemon, which she also owned normally. Feebas to Milotic. Milotic is basically the female Pokemon, as some people call it, or at least the beauty Pokemon. It goes from being this ugly fish to being beautiful. And as I was saying within, Sobol to Inteleon, she cares for a lot of Pokemon. So, she kept Feebas with her. She cared for it because it was being abused by not only a lot of Magikarp for some reason, but a lot of other water Pokemon. So, what she opted to take that Feebas and somehow was able to get it to become a Milotic. And its little accessory is actually the dragon scale it used to evolve. It's literally a necklace, which really looks nice. And, it resembles because they had to go through a lot of trials to get that dragon scale, so it was best to keep the dragon scale with Milotic. And yeah, that's all I have for Milotic being on Maul-Chan's team. The last Pokemon is Galarian Ponyta to Galarian Rapidash. As I was saying last episode, I couldn't fully do this as a theme team whilst I played the game because I'll be getting Sword, not Shield. Galarian Ponyta, if you don't know, is a part of Pokemon Shield. Farfetch'd and Surfetch'd are part of Pokemon Sword. Anyway, so, what do I think about Ponyta and Rapidash? Well, it's a fairy Pokemon, and basically I can kind of picture a sort of story where she's in Glimwood Tangle and happens to find a Ponyta getting abused, hence her love for Pokemon. I think personally that would be a really nice idea, and it would be also her travel companion. Basically, she would travel on a Rapidash. And, I mean, it looks amazing. Just so majestic. Now, funny enough, she actually gives this Pokemon a different name. Now, if I was to try and get a Galarian Ponyta into Sword, which won't be possible until Home comes out, and even then, it's going to be hard, because I would have to get Shield. I'm not paying an extra 50 quid for that. But I would be naming it the same name that she has named this one. She has a relationship as well with another OC. Another OC from another person. Person I know, not fully personally, but like on the internet through a lot of different methods. The main one being Amino. She'll be calling this Pokemon Luna for Lunatones, because Lunatones, the OC, I'll put a picture here, is a pony, and I thought that Galarian Ponyta worked really well for that, so she would keep it for that joke as well, not just because of love of Pokemon, but because of Lunatones. You're welcome, Lunatones. Now I'll be getting to the next 3 Pokemon. I won't be doing honorable mentions because, okay, I'll do one honorable mention, but that's only after. But anyway, I'll be doing the 3 Pokemon that she would keep in her box and swap out quite a bit. First one will be Dracozolt. If you don't know, this is one of the fossilized fusions, and the opposite to Arctovige. Because there's this whole, like, you know, if they're, you know, top, yeah. Anyway, so, Draco Zolt. I personally chose Draco Vig, because I already had an electric type, being Yamper. I didn't want to keep another electric type. Whereas, Maul-Chan doesn't care for typings, she cares more for Pokemon and her love for them. Draco Zolt was only there because she has it, because she found it being abused, again, abused Pokemon by scientists for looking ugly. It was their first fusion, as they said, so it was terrible and they hated it. They kicked it out, she took it in, boom, she got a Draco Zolt. She didn't get the Arcto or the Fish fossil, but she keeps Draco Zolt as a friend and definitely a nice companion as well. Next one is Yonmask to Runerigus. Runerigus. I think it's Runerigus. Yeah, Runerigus. Runerigus is there because basically her Pokemon, well, her Eevee at least, sensed there was something in a nearby temple in a complete different region. For some reason, a Runerigus was actually situated there far from Galar, so she took it in. It was scared because it'd been lost from its trainer years ago. So Maul-Chan takes it in. She takes a lot of Pokemon in. She's basically like Ash, but weirder, and an alien, and likes Eevee more than Pikachu. But anyway, yeah, so she takes the Runerigus, I can't say it properly, can I? She takes it, you know, makes good friends, boom. But she did see the she basically found it. She found a host of Yonmask, normal Yonmask with the mask, floating around it, wondering what in the world is that. So she never really takes them in, but she makes friends with them, and hence that I put Yonmask here. That's why I didn't say Galarian Yonmask, I said just normal Yonmask. So yeah, the last one is another Galarian form, this being Corsola to Cursula. Basically, her Mimikyu went to a graveyard just to, like, because every region that Maul-Chan goes to, for some reason, Mimikyu likes to laugh at the dead. It's kind of creepy, but it does, because it knows it's not exactly dead itself. So it sometimes has a little laugh at some of the dead Pokemon. And they found a Corsola crying. So she took it to another trainer, which was said to be its own. It abandoned it just 10 minutes before they got there, only because it wouldn't evolve. But yeah, it evolved not too long after Maul-Chan took it in. So, you mean, I mean, come on. Also, the little honorable mention I was going to say about would be Poltergeist. She has enjoyed tea in Japan a lot. Tea is one of her favourite drinks, as of mine. So, Poltergeist was a funny Pokemon as she went to a hotel, and Poltergeists are known for being pests in hotels. And hence she found a Poltergeist. She found it without having its pre-evolution. She found it there and then. It was, and she was the first out of any of her kind, of the people of that time, to actually take a sip of its tea. That exact hotel, which was then later demolished into the Sword and Shield game you see now. She basically had the poltergeist, you know, in that hotel first. That was the first tea from that hotel, from the poltergeist from that hotel, that actually allowed her to drink tea from its body. So that makes sense. She was basically the first person to actually drink tea from the poltergeist of that hotel. That's a bit more sense. But yeah, poltergeist. But that's really it, guys. I've had lots of fun trying to plan these. It's been nice to just... I enjoyed Maul-Chan's team a lot more due to me having, less freedom of choice, but a lot more... I can come up with nice canon stories, maybe, or just mini short stories for Maul-Chan on how she got that Pokemon. I know quite a lot of the last few, like Ponyta, didn't get a little accessory. That is because she ran out of accessories. She runs out quite quickly because... But if Ponyta were to have one, you'd have a little sort of flower in its hair. That's really it. I mean, Dracozolt really is a hard one to think of an accessory to go with it. Yonmask, she never really fully... She gave a little crown to the Yonmask that to one of the Yonmask that she met in that cave place, you know, on the island far from Galar. She gave one of them. Runigius, she put her initials on. Let's say she just put her initials on her. On him. That's what she did. And Corsola, there isn't really much you could do for Corsola, except maybe do like a sort of Hawaiian necklace, which could work because Corsola are fond in Alola. So yeah. Bye guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. You want memes? We got them. Oh, you into cursed images? We got you, baby. You want better video notifications? We got it all. This server is still relevant, gosh dang it!